So Tracy, here we are again, SmartTALK.
Back again.
Second topic for today. So I thought it'd be interesting to sort of get your views around how you're seeing automation impact payroll. We hear a lot of it, and we hear about things like voice, about robotic process automation and all of these buzzwords. But in reality, are you seeing automation in the payroll space at the moment, and what does it mean?
Well, look, we are, and I think we always have. We have since the award interpretation came out. That's automation, right? It took the manually extending of the timesheets on time cards to automate those calculations. And we're seeing more of that. We're seeing a lot of vendors going to bots now. So those sort of low value queries that someone needs to ask the pay office can now be managed by bots. And we're seeing a lot of vendors getting into that.
And how might that work in reality? Like, can you give us a real example?
Things like, if you look at the queries that come into a pay office, I've often, you probably don't care so much, but we look at what type of queries are coming in. One of the things that I see a lot, and one of my clients actually had a huge volume of queries, and when we actually looked at what they were being asked about, 50% were saying, how do I change my password in self-service? So just by dealing with that, now that could be a bot, that could be just some sort of automation on resetting the password. That will get rid of 50% of the inquiries that come to the pay office. So that's how we're seeing automation sort of help support the payroll function. But if you think about being in a payroll role, and there's low value tasks and there's high value tasks. So sure, automation absolutely always will affect our jobs. Will some people lose jobs? Maybe, but only the ones that are not willing to reskill and think, how does my job change? It won't be about necessarily huge job losses, but it will be huge job changes. And the great thing about that is that there'll be much more value that comes out of a pay office, rather than sort of extending timesheets and keying data and replying to people about how they change their password. You'll be able to say, right, what dashboard could I create to give some meaningful information back to management? You know, we're opening a new retail store in Queensland, so what data could I use to model how, staffing costs for that? That's where you get the value from payroll, and that's how automation can help, because it'll actually free up those low value task times into high value tasks.
Yeah, and I think what I'm really hearing you say is it's about rethinking the processes, rethinking the way in which we work, opening up the mindset to add that higher value in.
And it's actually, if I had a payroll job and I said, all you're going to do for 38 hours a week is, data entry or, manual interpretation or keying information or checking reports, that's pretty dull. But if I said to you, what you're going to do is you're going to be analysing reports, you're going to be looking at dashboards, you're going to be modelling data, you're going to be feeding information back to line managers, and they're going to love you, that's a way better way to work.
And in reality, are you seeing some more progressive organisations moving into this space now?
100%. And what's really interesting is those progressive organisations value the skills that people bring, and they're willing to pay more for them.
Yeah, and that comes back to what we'd spoken about in the earlier SmartTALK about where you're seeing the change in the industry at the moment, and that's around skills and skills development.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Tracy.
Pleasure.